Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mino Taras. Let's start the 3 minutes news, but I think it's going to be a 5 minute news because I just did the Japanese version and it just went out to 5 minutes, over 5 minutes. So let's look at the news from CNA. I reported this yesterday about the verdict for Mr. Najib at Malaysia. It seems to be the equity market has already digested this before. Not much movement. Actually, it has already it increased. So maybe the market is looking at as a positive sign that the rules law needs to be abided by everyone, even the prime minister. So Singapore jobless rate 2.9%. That's not a great sign. Of course, it's highest in the decade. And if you look at Japan, 2.9%. It is also reported just recently, same number, but the difference is 2.9% is overall. So if you just look at the Singaporeans and permanent residents, it's actually 3.9%. So if you're going to compare apple to apple, 3.9% and 2.9% in Japan, it could be the number we need to look at. Either way, it's not a great number. Now, let's look at Nikkei here. I usually would not like to go over Japanese newspaper, but just need to pick up a few things. One thing is minus 4% in terms of growth in Japan. It has been downgraded, adjusted downward from the original, I think 1 point something percent that has been set in the beginning of the year. So which has been now impacted the stock market in Japan. Nikkei is down about 200 points. 20 yen, so it's not great. Now, this is actually higher, or let's say the minus percentage is actually higher than from the GFC in 2008-9. So it's I guess one of the most negative growth rate we see in decades. Okay, this is another part. In Japan, there's so-called, let's say, bonuses or coupons or packages that you can receive by investing into listed stocks. Not on the distribution of the money, but you actually get coupons from the companies with discounts, coupons if you have certain number of equity holdings. And actually, in fact, certain number of individual investors, personal investors in Japan are actually looking for that aspect only, and not really company. Okay, in overseas or outside of Japan, this concept does not exist. Maybe very, very few companies do it for the benefit of whatever, but majority doesn't have this. So overall, overseas, outside of Japan, everyone is investing in the likes of the company. Its performance, its financials, its growth. So the real terms of the company, and not just some coupon that you may want to get regardless of what the company is. These are like restaurant coupons. Even if you're investing, if a company is in a restaurant or food and beverage business, you own restaurants. These coupons are like 20, 15% off coupons you can use in these owned restaurants. That has nothing to do. Well, it has a little bit. It has to do with the business. Now, what the problem now that we're facing now is, look, business not doing well, especially food and beverage, and maybe with all the sectors as well. You have no distribution at all this year, but you're still giving out these coupons. And what this really means is that individuals, yes, you can get benefit, but how about institutional investors? They're not going to use this at all, right? For the most part, I'm not sure how they use it. Maybe they give it out into the employees, but they talk about this as a inequality, unfairness in terms of investor treatments from the company. So that's a big issue. It's a very unique issue in Japan. Now, markets. Obviously, Nikkei is down 242 yen, 1%. That's quite big. Topics as well, similar. Other Asian markets increase for the most part. Now, lastly, I want to pick up on one of the Asahi Digital articles. I don't have it in front of me, actually, but the thing is, there has been a report that in Japan now, from whenever, the government will be announcing to public uh, if one of the shops or restaurants was actually a conduit for a virus infection. So if one with the virus comes to a restaurant, someone else gets that from a restaurant, they are going to announce that to the public. What for? I don't really know. I think the government it's kind of falling into the cracks of you're trying to follow other leaders in the APAC, and but just implementing only parts of it, and it's kind of losing the purpose of it. Like in Singapore, there are a tracking device, not device, but we, as I said before, we check out to every restaurant, everywhere we go, buildings. So after an infection is confirmed for one person, they're gonna track that down. They're gonna make public where they have been, just for the purpose for the public can be aware that you could be also exposed to that virus, not to actually, oh look, restaurant A, look, you guys had an infection in your in the area, and you are actually a conduit. That's not the purpose, guys. So a lot of weird things happening in Japan. Really hope that that gets change. I can't really find a good word, but okay, it's already 6 minutes. So I'm just going to talk about why I'm doing this. One, I want everyone in Japan and for those outside of Japan to really understand the news outside of Japan, because that's not everything. We also need to think about we are part in APAC. Okay. So secondly, I like to say things about few news or any policies that is in place that is very weird or that needs to be adjusted. I have a lot of things I want to say. I probably have other videos that will upload later. And lastly, sunglasses. I don't want to have this. I can't see anything with this. I like to see more clearly, but my company doesn't really allow more other business to be doing right now. So hopefully one day I'll be able to take this off. Thank you.